Okay, welcome to the Space Limited Accomplishments interval.
Yay! We're back to doing the intro. Thank you.
My name is Lance Ash, and this is Bonnie Ash.
His wife, his slave,
Okay,
his driver.
and
His cook.
okay, I'm gonna tell the story as I started to tell right before we got the recorder going.
Okay.
All right. Bonnie was discussing credit ratings and so forth, and I was gonna tell a story. A long time ago, occasionally, and not with any sort of devotion, I would happen to come across the old show Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, hosted by
Robin Leach.
Robin Leach. That's right. And
Decadent.
he told a story about some businessman. I can't remember who it was, but he owned some property in Italy, as I recall the story. And he bought this building or something, and he said, and he paid off the building in record time, which sent his credit rating soaring. And I remember thinking, I knew nothing at the time. I must have been, I don't know, 16, 17, somewhere in there. And I remember at the time not knowing anything about credit scores and whatnot.
I believe they're a very new concept. I think they began back in the 70s, 80s, as a matter of fact.
Well, anyway, so at some point, I later relayed this story to my dad. And he just dismissed it, like, that's bullshit, poppycock. And I remember thinking, then what, if that's not the way things work, then what was he talking about, And
Actually, that's an excellent way to do things. If you get a credit card and you spend a large amount on it and then pay it off within a month or two, you can really boost your credit score that way. Also, if you decide to pay all your regular bills using that credit card and then pay it off every month, it's an excellent way to do it. It's also an excellent way for them to give you immediate boost in credit. Might take you from $5,000 to $10,000, $20,000 worth of credit.
Well, as I recall in the story, the guy, whoever it was, then used this increased credit power to start his financial empire, and he bought property around the world and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think that they were talking about Adnan Khashoggi. I don't think so. It was a young man that they were talking about, or he had been young when all this shit started.
Now, he's the one who was the uncle of the guy who was murdered by the Saudi prince last year, right?
Maybe had the same name, but all I remember about that dude is that he at one time was worth $500 billion, and he owned the largest yacht in the world, and that was the yacht they used in Never Say Never Again.
Was that the one that a certain ex-president bought and then had to sell because he couldn't afford it?
I don't know about that. But if you've seen the movie, it's a remake of Thunderball, and that boat is enormous, and it's got a helipad, and anyway. So now, what are we going to talk about?
Our daughter moved.
Yeah, our daughter is settled into her new place.
Did we talk about this last week?
Well, she was in the process of doing it, I think.
Did we discuss our feelings on it?
Yeah, we went over the whole deal, so no reason to rehash that.
Okay.
Had a very good weekend. I got a painting done, and it just, I don't know. I finished it with my usual technical, up to my usual standards, but as far as the composition, it really meant nothing to me. And then I jumped into the next one before I was really ready, and I was really felt bad about it. But then later that day, I was laying down and I sort of re-envisioned it, and I got up and fixed it. And so I'm ready to go now with it. I feel better about it. It's something I feel more aesthetically connected to. Oh, and Bonnie did something too. She's indicating she has something big to say.
I did art too.
Yeah, she drew a picture of a naked lady.
Yeah, I did.
And
I did a self-portrait. And I refurbished some stuff, metal stuff. And let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I did that tea composition. The photography thing of collected items involving tea. Do you remember that?
You showed me what you were doing, yeah.
So I was very pleased with those compositions.
We have a little tea ball, the kind that screws apart with a chain on the end, and we also have one, the kind that has like a spring-loaded clamp with the wire mesh. And I've tried both of these methods with loose tea, and I don't like it as much as just buying your own tea bags and making them.
Well, we also have the sieves. You just rest the sieve and you pour the hot water over the tea. And
do the tea leaves sit in the water?
There's two different ways. You can have it where, if you have it in a cup, you can have it where it will come up to the bottom of the sieve and seep from the sieve, or you can put the tea leaves in the pot and then pour it out through the sieve.
That's what I wish we could do.
Into the cup.
I wish we could make tea the standard way, where you pour,
Loose tea.
and then you pour the tea out of the pot into the cup, and you only get a few little leaves here and there.
And we do have the 2-tier tea cups, mugs, where you put the thing inside.
Yeah.
The other.
I've seen.
And I've got 2 of those, and they both have lids on those, and those are nice. But you have to get accustomed to the fact that you're going to either need to use something large, like the gunpowder tea, which unfolds and has large leaves that are in it, or you're going to have tea that you don't mind having a little bit of the tea leaves in it, because they don't.
I think some people just sip it, and the leaves slip to the bottom.
Yeah, and then you read the tea leaves, as according to Harry Potter and other books of that sort.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Let's see what else I did this weekend. I recorded a song, but I haven't posted it online yet. And I'm a little hesitant to do it because it's about somebody that I know, and it's so obvious. It's so funny though.
Oh dear.
But if he ever hears it, he'll get upset.
Is it?
It's my it's a friend. It's a friend of mine that I never get to see anymore. I haven't seen him in a couple of years.
The one that looks like Charlie Daniels?
Oh my God!
You know it's true.
Maybe a little bit.
He's
He looks
also
like
a Trump supporter, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like
Let's not get.
Yes, let's not get too.
Okay. Let's not get too. I'll have to run it by some other people before I post it. But anyway.
Yeah, that was the one that came to our house one evening, and Peter dismissed himself and said, "Good night, gentlemen, and good night to you."
Oh,
boy."
don't no. Well,
Lord.
and what else did I do? I've got a really good sound coming out of my amp lately, but it's still too damn loud. And if I had the money to blow, I'd buy a volume pedal so I could just deal with it that way. Oh my goodness.
1 hour of overtime will buy you a volume pedal, dear.
No, I don't want to waste money on that.
I'll tell you what we won't waste money on. I was just complaining about these pants that I got in 2019 or something. 2019. I got out of the hospital, and they're having holes in them, but I refuse to buy any. I'm just going to wear these to pieces. Because, they're not a special place to go or anything like that, but I won't buy anything like that. I'll buy a new shirt, but pants, no.
Well, okay, I'll tell you something interesting. All right. Over 3.5 years ago, when I got out of the hospital for my emergency brain surgery, skull surgery, I decided to start meditating on a serious basis. Now, I had dabbled in meditation here and there, but anyway, the point is this. So for 3.5 years, I've been meditating regularly, and not only that, but I've been using meditative techniques while I'm at work, just sort of controlling my breathing or watching my breathing or counting my breathing or just trying to be conscious of that while I'm working, and it makes the shift go by fast. Anyway, last week, or was it last 2 weeks or just last week? I can't remember. I made a new effort, a renewed effort in that direction, and with some little refinements, and I think I've finally come to a formula that's really working for me, because every day last week I went into this thing, just count your breaths up to a certain point, then start over, then, and it really, I stayed in this certain mindset all night long, and it was so fantastic. Nothing bothered me. If something happened that bothered me, I just went back into the breathing, and it was great.
Well, you'll find out soon enough if this is really working for you when your supervisor returns.
Well, I dealt with her.
Briefly.
Yeah, but it wasn't. We just have some points of contention. That's all. I mean, if that is a sharp look, is that a?
That is an old Cadillac, isn't it?
No. That's a.
Oldsmobile? What is that? I can't see that. It's beautiful. It's long. It's red.
Camaro.
It's a convertible. There's no way that red thing is a Camaro.
I can't remember what it's called. I've seen that. Yeah, that's a sharp car.
Jesus.
The wheels
It's got white wheels.
The wheels are not standard,
walls.
but oh well. But anyway, I
supervisor.
yeah, I can get along with her outside of a, I don't know, work pressure situation. She wants to like me, but I think that's. Hold on, let me take a look at the back.
What's that?
It's a Pontiac GTO.
Seriously?
It's a Pontiac, whatever it is. It's a Pontiac. I know that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's convertible. About a 68, 69, somewhere in there. Anyway, but yeah, the breathing thing was great. See, the thing is, I keep a little book with me and to write down ideas in, and that's how it got started. Is that just have a little notebook with me in case some idea pops up. Well, what happened was eventually over time, I've been doing this for years, is that I decided, well, what if you made yourself come up with an idea? What if you sent your mind in that direction so that you don't have to think about what you're doing at work? So I balance out that I'll do a certain number of breaths, and then I'll do an entry in the little book, back and forth, back and forth. So I've come up with a new formula for putting the entries in, so I won't have to beat my brains against the wall to come up with something to put in. I've simplified it, and that really helped out too with work last week. And it was, if I can just keep this up, I think I'll make another 20 years at the job, and I'll be all right.
20? I've got to drive you for 20 more years?
No, I'll be back to driving in another week or so.
Bullshit! 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 Bullshit!
I just saw a video about somebody commenting on a news story in the UK about British retiree people, British citizens who've retired to Spain, who are now having to up sticks and come back home because they voted for Brexit, but they didn't realize the consequences of that. They wouldn't be able to stay in Britain or stay in Spain. And I just think it's hilarious.
Yeah, isn't the National Health Service, it was formerly recognized and honored in these other EU countries, and now that they're no longer a member of the EU, their National Health Service policy is not honored in Spain or whatever, and so they're charged like, say, an American abroad or something.
I don't know about that, but it's very interesting that Europe, the European countries, are among the highest living standards in the world, and many of these countries are voted among the happiest countries in the world to live in, happiest places to live, and they all have some form of socialized medicine. It's amazing. And yet here in America, oh my God, that will lead to abortions on demand. You'll be forced to get abortions.
What it actually leads to is medical costs being the number one cause for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
I swear, here in America, we are so stupid
Well,
with our healthcare system.
The reason I brought all that up is because if I could, I would.
Up sticks and.
Well, no, I was saying I would love to retire to Europe somewhere, anywhere at this point. Something's in my throat. Sorry. Oh my God! But I have no. I'd rather live in Germany or Northern Europe, somewhere like that, a relatively big city. But a lot of people in the UK, they dream of sunny Spain and the Mediterranean, and I just don't. I live in a hot place, a place where it's nasty in the summer. So that's not where I want to go. A lot of people here in America, they dream of moving to New Mexico or Arizona to retire.
The woods.
Yeah, the dry heat. It's not my thing.
Oh, dark skies, another thing.
Yeah, there's a whole industry, community about that.
Dark skies, yeah.
No. Dark skies.
Yes.
Oh, you mean away from the...
Skywatcher.
Yeah.
Skywatcher is like my father. He has his own observatory.
Well, what I mean is there's a magazine called Sunset. It's about life in the Southwest. I don't know. It's just not my thing. I've never lived in a big city or anywhere near a big city or the outskirts of one. And that's my dream.
Daughter is.
Well, it's not the same. Atlanta and its environs is not quite the same as Berlin or Paris or yeah.
Atlanta's urban sprawl, true urban sprawl. But the good thing about it is it has a large international community. Where she's at has a large number of Asian stores, grocery stores, and Spanish-speaking populations. And they've got Pakistan, Indian, Afghani restaurants, as well as Japanese and Chinese. You've got every type of Mexican restaurant that you can imagine, or South American restaurants, or bakeries, etc.
If you had the money to live right downtown Atlanta in one of those big, expensive apartment buildings, that would be close to sort of the same feeling you'd have in a what?
No. Atlanta's very different. Very, very different.
What about the Virginia Highlands District or whatever it's called?
See, that's a nifty little thing. You're not dealing with high-rises there, and you're dealing with the best of urban living. You've got all the different zoos and parks, the Carter Center. You've got vegetarian and vegan. You've just got a variety of museums. They have a scape there that is centered on graffiti art. There's several bridges that have numerous murals in the area. That's the best of urban life. The arts and the food. That's why we went to the Earth Fair there, but then a mile down the road, you've got the Science Museum, and you've got the old mansions of Atlanta, like the ones in Driving Miss Daisy.
I've been to around Piedmont Park, and there's another little tiny park near there. I can't remember the name of it, but those old houses and old apartment blocks there are just fantastic.
And you've got small museums, and you've got art house cinemas. I remember when we were in college driving up there to go to the Krispy Kreme, but then there was, I think it was the Majestic Movie Theater, and then back then, even then, it was a mecca for vegetarian food. And within 5 miles of there is the DeKalb International Farmers Market, and you've got 2 major Asian grocery stores there, and it's heaven. I wouldn't mind living there. It's a different kind of urban than, say, New York City, which you and I've both been to, but it's not the same at all.
next time we have some time, let's go up to that area, Piedmont Park area,
yes,
and let's get out and walk around and see some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Take some pictures.
I'd like to go to the graveyard that's near there too, and
the graveyard.
Yes, of course. Well, you know I like funerary art.
Let's dwell on our impending termination.
Mm-hmm. And then the Cabbage Town area. And I do want to go see that graffiti tunnel that has, I don't know how long of a thing it is. Don't worry, Lance, I'm not going to get mugged. But the Atlanta City Farmers Market is down there, the opposite direction from DeKalb. Of course, there's the Earth Fair. I would love it. I would love to go there.
Oh, mercy. Yeah, I wish... Money and time. The money-time continuum.
Did Ghost play at one of the small venues down there a couple years ago?
I have no idea. I've seen several...
Halloween show. What was it we were talking about?
I don't know.
Wanted to go see it.
I don't know.
Oh,
I've been to... Well, in the Buckhead area, I've been to several things in that area, and art galleries and concerts and things, and it's really, really nice.
When my dad worked in downtown Atlanta, he used to go to what they called the rush hour concerts. And the idea was that you would get off your job at 3 or 4 o'clock and you would show up at 5 o'clock for a special before dinner concert. It would generally be an hour long, but they would bring out the big strings, so to speak, the best of the best at the Woodruff Art Center, and they were relatively cheaply priced. You could get $10 to $15 seats. And then, of course, next door, the High Museum, which is an international museum, and you would have gallery shows there and a lot of cocktail nights. So, yeah, there's a lot of great things about Atlanta, truly. Unfortunately, our daughter will not be participating in those things because she's just so focused on her one little small part of the universe, and I don't know.
All right, we are coming to a stoplight, and that will make a good place to end this for today. All right, so I guess that's it. Bye-bye.